Together we're navigating, one step each.
All right, what's going on, crew? Thank you for joining me for another Waypoint Weekly today. It is June 24th, so let's get started. I just want to start out with a confession. So some of you might have felt this way before, some of you may have not, but I still want to share some things with you before we get started. Just so you can know that you are not alone. So here's my confession. There was this one night, I was sitting in my bedroom floor and it was about 11 o'clock p.m. My lesson plans weren't finished. My certification for my cohort work wasn't finished. I had papers to grade. My son's commission slip was still sitting on the counter. The kids had pizza for dinner. And then somewhere in the middle of that, I realized I had only eaten the Cheez-It Grooves for dinner. Now, I'm going to be honest, it's not because I wanted them or I had a specific taste for them. It was because they were all that was left in the snack cabinet at the moment because I hadn't gone grocery shopping. So I remember thinking to myself, how is everybody else doing this? How is everyone else teaching and doing it all? I looked on social media and it just seemed like, the Pinterest teachers and the TikTok teachers, it seemed like everyone else seemed to have like the color-coded classrooms, matching teacher outfits with their team, perfectly organized binders, and apparently enough energy to make TikTok videos at 9 p.m. Meanwhile, I was trying to remember whether I had brushed my teeth today. I did, by the way, but that's just the point that I'm making. I mean, I didn't see it then, but I know now that I wasn't failing, I was overloaded. And I realized that I had to change something. And I realized that I didn't need to become a better teacher in that moment. I needed better navigation systems, or at least to adjust the ones that I had, or adjust the sales of the ones that I already had. So tonight is for every educator who has ever sat on their bedroom floor or on their floor anywhere in their home, wondering if anyone else has gotten some magical map that they somehow missed. That's what today is all about. We're going over the certification survival guide today. So welcome aboard, everyone. Welcome aboard, crew. Let's dive right into it. I want you to remember something. Tonight is not because you're not surviving because you're weak. It's about surviving because you are doing something that's incredibly difficult, right? For those of you who have completed the traditional method of going through a four-year college program and doing your student teaching, that's a huge process. So I want you to think about what it may be like for some of your partner educators or paraprofessionals who are working with you and that would be going through an alternative means to their certification, like a certification cohort where they're provisionally licensed or an I Teach program. It can be very daunting and difficult, especially if you're navigating those waters alone. I mean, alternative certification is basically the educational equivalent to assembling like IKEA furniture without the instructions. It's craziness, right? And then at the same time, you have to have that mindset that someone is still asking you, well, did you finish yet? And somehow you're expected to build this career and still be building yourself at the same time. It's completely overwhelming for some of them. So I just want you to have that mindset as we go along this journey today. That if you have finished that four-year certification at a certified college, just be open-minded and open-hearted with your peers that are doing the work and steering the ship at the same time. So we're gonna do our quick check-in. I want everybody to be honest. Be honest with me. Be honest with yourself. If I dumped open your certification backpack on the table, what would fall out of it? Would it be some coffee? Would it be stress? Would it be determination, confusion, resilience, lack of sleep, or deadlines? Oh, okay, I see some things coming in the chat, and I completely understand all of your answers. And I see some people nodding. Perfect. Now, stress, I see a lot. Now, I will tell you this: if stress burned calories, we'd all be like Olympic athletes or supermodels, right? But unfortunately, it does not. But it's a reality of the profession. So, thank you for guys for dropping those things in the chat. Thank you for participating. Um, Remember, this is the open forum, so if you ever want to come off mute and just share, please raise your hand, do so. But yeah, all of these answers are valid. All of these answers are true to you, and what you're going through. So I don't want you to feel like any one answer is better than the other, because it's really not. It's just a matter of your perspective and where you are right now in your journey, your certification journey. Now, this first question on the screen, am I behind? And this is a common question for all educators, whether you're a novice teacher just starting out, a seasoned veteran. Things change so often, or pace guides change, curriculums change. So you're consistently asking yourself, am I behind? I want you to notice something, that these questions show up in every educator's mind, right? Am I behind? Am I doing enough? And what does everyone else have, or why does everyone else have this figured out? But here's the really the secret to it all: they don't. Nobody ever really has it all figured out. Education is such a growing profession, and it's ever changing. So you never really truly have it all figured out. So think about it. The teachers that you admire, they're Googling things. The administrator, I can assure you, is Googling things. Heck, I'm Googling things. We're just Googling with confidence. we just kind of have like a little blueprint of what we're looking for, and we're Googling with guidance and confidence to get the answers that we desire. So there's nothing wrong with looking things up, just so you can stay current and stay abreast of what's going on. Please Google away to your little heart's content until you feel comfortable in whatever you're looking for. No one has it all figured out. This has to be one of my favorite slides in this presentation. And I love this image because backpacks don't really get lighter on their own, right? You either just get stronger, or sometimes you get smarter about what you're carrying or what you want to stop carrying. So my thought question for you is, what are you carrying that doesn't actually belong to you? I see student feelings. Okay. The pressure of kids coming to school every day. That's very valid. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I see lots of things coming in. Great, great, great. Yes, all of those are true. It could be, I like it. Other people's expectations or comparison. For me, sometimes it is that thought of perfectionism. But the goal for all of us should be to take a moment and put that down. No, no, really. I want you to put it down. Put all of those thoughts, those misconceptions, put them down for today. I want you to clear your mind of all of those expectations for today, at least for one day. We're going to focus on your own personal growth. Today, the only person stopping you will be you. You often are your own hardest critic. And once we get past that mindset, that's where we get to the zone where we can really thrive and succeed, especially in the certification coursework, and just as the mindset of it all. Now this is where everyone needs to lock in, as the youth say. Um, there is this perspective of educators that we do have it all figured out, right? We just talked about that. That everyone else already knows what they're doing. So if you're new or novice into the field, um, it's like you're building the plane while you're flying. But the truth is, we're all figuring everything out one step at a time, one course, one professional development, one activity at a time. And then there's also this illusion that good teachers don't struggle. That's completely false. I mean, success isn't about never struggling. It's truly about moving forward despite the struggle, like keep going on and pressing forward. That's where the true growth happens, when you take that opportunity to step from your comfort zone, from the middle of the boat, and step up to the bow, step up to the front of the ship, and take some risk every once in a while on your educational journey. And for some of you, those of you who are already in an I Teach program or an alternative pathway to certification, you're doing that. You're taking that risk, coming out of a field that isn't in education, and taking the passion that you have for your students or for our youth and taking the risk to join a completely new career. And then we're looking at some of you who are seasoned veterans that say, I should have this figured out by now. Yeah, that sounds like it should be true, but with education always changing and growing, and new science coming out about how students learn best in their environment, no one has it all figured out. And alternative certification is something that's intentionally complex because it's a condensed coursework, right? So if you're coming through that alternative pathway, it's going to take time. There's no way you're going to get everything that someone who went to a 4-year college institution and did their student teaching, took all of those courses, psychology and whatnot, classroom management. There's no way you're going to grasp everything in an expedited course load. It's really just to get you started. And then you need to develop a crew that helps you along the way to get that information and put it into practice. So it's about rapport building and relationship building that's going to truly get you there. And last but not least, if you haven't done it yet, there's this illusion that you will say, I will schedule my Praxis assessment when I finally feel ready. I'm going to be honest with you. You'll never truly feel 100% ready. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. But what you do need to do is schedule that test to force yourself to be ready, to force your readiness, to force your mentality about studying and practicing. There's lots of resources online that are available to you and to help you prepare for that practice so that you can build that confidence. So these are some things that we need to look at and be able to debunk, in a sense of the word, these illusions that circle around education, that you should have it all figured out, or even if you've been in the game for 5, 10 years, that you should just automatically know what you're doing. I'm going to tell you the truth. I've never once met an educator who wasn't making something up in their mind while they were walking confidently down the hallway. I mean, I know you've seen them walking down the hallway with that pensive gaze, right? We call it a professional confidence. Now, we all do it. Sometimes we have to make things up on the fly. It doesn't mean we're less of an educator. It just simply means that we're always thinking, we're always growing, and we're always developing. Now, for that Praxis specifically, I want you to understand that you will never wake up and hear the angels singing, you are now ready for your Praxis. It just doesn't happen. Okay. It doesn't happen that way. So please, you're going to schedule it first and then allow your brain the time to catch up, right? Allow your brain the time to practice and grow. I want you to take a moment and I want you to locate yourself on the map. I want you to decide, are you hanging on by a thread? Because you very well may be. And if you are hanging on by a thread, I want you to protect the one thing. You're going to intentionally focus on your mental health and sleep tonight. That is all you have to do. If you are hanging on by a thread and you're still trying to get all the certification in, finish a course, finish your master's program, whatever your certification is that you're trying to achieve, if you feel like you are hanging on by a thread in this moment, your only task today is to get some rest because you're pushing yourself way too hard. And to be honest, the only way that you can think through a problem is if you have a clear mind. So your job is to protect your mental health tonight. Now, if you're on the second step where you are ready to go, but you've been avoiding that praxis, here's your task for today. You're going to go to the ETS website and you are going to create an account. I don't want you to schedule the test. I don't want you to, go ahead and just pick a date. And if you're still living in that space of fear, I just want you to open the account. Remember, our goal is to move one step at a time, one path at a time. You don't have to have it all figured out, just your next waypoint. Now, you could be a step further than that on your map. You could be saying to yourself, I honestly don't know what comes next. This is where you need a fellow captain or a coach. This is where I can come in for you. So if you've done the certification coursework or you've done the preliminary pieces to your IT's program or your master's program and you scheduled your practice, but you just don't know what to do next, then that's where you come along and let's schedule a 15-minute course correction. And maybe we can figure out if you need extra studying for your practice and that's why you haven't done it yet, or just truly figure out what you need to move on to your next step. So we can schedule a course correction call and get you where you need to be. Now, you might be a phenomenal teacher and have it all figured out, and you could say, I'm making good progress. So if that's the case, I would like for you to drop your win in your educators community in school or here in our chat so that we can pass those wins along to those who aren't quite there yet. Seeing someone else who's got it done or has figured it out or has a method, having that community and that crew surrounding you, that's what helps move others along. So if you can share your wins and share what you've done to keep your momentum going and help another, it's going to be greatly appreciated for the community as a whole and for whoever needs to see it. Now, I want you to remember, we're focused on one next step, one next waypoint, not trying to figure out the whole path tonight at a time. We are going to look at this map here. So the goal is to provide you with a course, right? To provide you with a strategy and method to get all of these elements done. And this looks complicated. I'm sure it does. And it does because certification is complicated. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it's easy. It's not, especially if you're doing an alternative pathway. It's not going to be simple just like that. But I do want you to notice something. There are only 5 steps here. Our goal is, say it with me. Now, I want to actually see your lips moving with me. Say it with me. We're going to do this one step at a time. Okay. Now, we're going to look at the first thing you're going to do is create that ETS account. You start there. It doesn't cost you anything to start. And then you're going to select the correct test for you. Now, depending on your content area, whether you are elementary, secondary, or if you are simply moving along as far as a collegiate level for your master's program or something like that, you need to make sure you're selecting the correct assessments that are right for you and where you're going in your journey. Then you're going to choose your format, whether you're going to go to a facility, a testing Praxis facility, or if you're going to take the test at home. I will say I would encourage you to go to one of the facilities because you have to maintain a quiet, focused environment. So sometimes doing it at home may not be best unless you've got somebody that can pick up the kiddos and take them out for a pool run or to Chuck E. Cheese, a Sky Zone or something like that, so that you can stay focused for your assessment. I strongly advise you going to a facility. There are some local Hampton Roads options if you're in the area, but if not, there are different facilities based on the state that you live in. Step 4 is you're going to check those registration deadlines because it would be mortifying if you have scheduled your test and then you miss the deadline. I'm someone that has to put it on my calendar because if it's not on my calendar, it did not happen and it will not happen. So if that is you, make sure you check the deadline and create a practice of where you can remind yourself when to be ready and set reminders 1 week out, 2 weeks out, so you can have that study mindset ready to go for yourself. And then last is review the test day requirements. Um, each facility has different requirements of what you can bring, what you can't, whether you can have a calculator for certain parts or don't, or whether you can bring your own pencils or headphones. So just kind of make sure you preview all of those things before you go into a testing facility so that you know what exactly you can bring with you so that you don't prolong the process of you getting started. Now, I see some of you, or I know some of you have done the following thing because I did it myself. I've opened up the ETS website one time and I saw the 17 menu options on the screen, and then I just closed the browser. I was done like immediately and decided maybe farming or Foot Finder was a better career choice. It's not. Don't do that. But I understand the point. I understand where you might have been coming from. It seems daunting, but I want you to remember by doing things it's one step at a time, you can avoid that overwhelming feeling and get your course scheduled, your test scheduled, and we can get you right back on track. Remember, fear of failing, cost, and time, they're all normal obstacles, but don't let them stop you from reaching your waypoint today. We're going to keep the ball rolling and keep you engaged in your learning. So here are some field notes and some reminders from the trail because you've already taken that step off the boat. So we're engaging in our journey now. And I want you to read each one slowly with me. I know it sounds crazy. I keep asking you to talk with me, but it's important. It's very important. I want you to take the opportunity to read these statements with me. First, you're going to find an educator community early. You don't want to wait till the last minute to get yourself a community that works with you. The best educators don't travel alone, they find their crew. Next, we're going to stop waiting until you feel ready for your assessments or for your next task. You won't. You won't automatically just wake up one morning and magically be ready. It's going to take time to get there, but you want to take the steps to get there. Then we're going to schedule your time for studying first before the week fills up. You want to protect that time so that you don't skip over it. Yes, taking your kids to soccer practice is important. Absolutely. Yes, making sure you schedule time for date night is important. Absolutely. All of those things are important and they are necessary. But you want to make sure or ensure that you have your scheduled study time already in place and work around that so that you continue to make sure you're ready. Our next check mark, ask questions sooner rather than later. I want you to remember that there is no stupid question. If you've been in a classroom before, I'm sure you've told this to your students. There are no stupid questions, only the ones that you don't ask. So ask your questions sooner rather than later, whether it's with the professor that's leading your course, whether it's with your trainer, whether it's with me on a course correction call. Make sure you get your questions answered so that you can be successful. Last but not least, we're going to keep all certification documentation meticulously organized. You want to have a folder that's ready to go for anything that has to do with your certification, whether it's your AED certification or your Red Cross certification for CPR. Whatever the case may be, you want to make sure you have all of that documentation together, your transcripts, so that when it's time for you to apply for your licensure, it is easily located. The best teachers will know to ask questions constantly, and they also know that confidence isn't knowing everything. Confidence is knowing who to ask. So just keep that in mind as we continue along with your journey. Now that we've done all of this talk about the certification that you're already in, I want you to imagine with me. Yes, I'm seriously asking you to close your eyes and imagine. I want you to pretend in your mind that you have just won $1,000. You only have one weekend. Where are you investing that money? Look at those categories on the screen for me, and I want you to tell me where you're investing that $1,000 that you just won. Anybody want to share with me where they might be investing? Okay. I see someone say in pedagogy. Okay. Tech. Okay. A couple of people are saying tech. I see that. All right. Now, here's the beautiful part of it all. There isn't one right answer. The best investment is the one that you're actually going to use. You might have picked pedagogy and engagement because that's what districts are looking for. Student engagement is always at the top of their list. But if you're truly a STEM person who likes science and innovation and technology, invest your money or time in that type of professional development, because that's what's going to make you marketable to fellow districts and schools and principals, where they see that you're driving that passion. Now, I'm not telling you to overwhelm yourself while you're currently in certification, but I am telling you to have that long range thought, that long range mindset of what's next or what could be next for you. So if you're looking at any of these areas or categories, here's a list on the screen of some things that might be worth looking at. Get Your Teach On is really great. Yorktown and Jamestown, they always have teacher institutes. The Virginia War Memorial, and then the Educator Rising Chesapeake Classroom. So if you have a moment, Google one of these professional developments and see if it's something that you feel like might be worth your while to continue your learning, to continue your development. All right. This is the slide that I wish someone had shown me many years ago. Because you cannot learn everything, finish everything, and protect nothing. You need all three. Now, do you remember that night that I was telling you about on my bedroom floor where I was eating the Cheez-It grooves? I thought success meant doing it all, doing everything at that time. It doesn't. Success is simply learning one thing, finishing one thing, protecting one thing at a time. then moving on to the next and choosing your next waypoint. If you've learned nothing else from me tonight, I want you to remember that we are going one step at a time, one waypoint at a time, so that you are not burnt out. Our goal is to go from burnout to breakthrough, right? We don't want to navigate these waters alone, and we want to do it in a community that serves you, one waypoint at a time. So let's plot your course. This is your commitment moment. I want you to choose exactly one of the options on the screen. Notice I said one, okay? And you're going to commit to completing it by July 1st if you're here with us live today. And if you are not and you're catching it on the replay, I want you to set your goal for 7 days out from whatever day you're watching this video. Remember, we're picking one of the options on the screen, not 5, just one. Because the fastest way to overwhelm yourself is to make 12 promises. How many of them do you think you're actually going to get done? Exactly. Now, I'm going to put this in perspective for you. I mean, my Amazon cart right now has 243 items in it. That doesn't mean I'm buying all 243 items. I'm just saying. Okay? So pick one so that you can stick with it. Whether it's registering for your Praxis, completing a missed certification requirement or course activity, researching and selecting a PD opportunity that could help you increase your marketability in the job market, or creating a protected study plan so that you can get all of your coursework done but still maintain time for your family. Or if it's simply to reach out to this community, whether it's via school or email or a course correction call to ask for support. Whatever it is you choose, it's indicative to just you. And you need to remember that you don't have to have everything figured out. You just need to know your next step to become a part of the Wayfinder crew. Now, as you look at this slide, before we celebrate our wins in course corrections, I want you to envision something. When a ship leaves the harbor, they don't know every wave that they're going to face. They don't know every storm. They don't know every obstacle. They simply know the next heading. For us, the next waypoint. You don't have to have your certification journey completely figured out. You don't have to be the perfect teacher. You don't have to compare your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 12, your next move to someone who's been teaching for 20 years. You just have to know the next step. Again, remember those Cheez-It crackers that I was telling you about? I wish I could tell you that I'd never had another dinner like that. I never went another night or another day, and all I had to eat was some Cheez-It Groove crackers. But I'd be lying to you because I have. But what I did do is I stopped believing that struggling meant that I wasn't meant for education. I stopped trying to do everything perfectly. I started navigating intentionally. And that's why I built the Wayfinder program. Not because I had all the answers, because I don't, but because I learned that educators don't need another motivational speech. They need a compass. And tonight, every single one of you has one. You're leaving with the mindset that every step counts. Every win matters. Every course correction helps keep you moving. So keep navigating, because your future students are waiting for the teacher that you are becoming. Before you leave tonight, I want you to do 3 things. I want you to celebrate one win, one victory, because you each have one. And if you're seeing this and you know what that win is, please go ahead and drop it in the chat so that we can all celebrate and rally around you. Number 2, I want you to commit to asking one question. It doesn't have to be right now. It doesn't have to be tonight. But this week, I want you to commit to asking one question that's going to help you along on your journey. And step 3, I want you to commit to taking action towards your next step, your next waypoint. Not a billion of them, not 12, not 5, not even 3, just one. Because progress, not perfection, is what gets us across the finish line. I know you remember that story from your childhood. Slow and steady wins the race. So if you are on the call with us tonight and you want to share any of your wins or celebrations, I always want to take the time at the end of our Waypoint Weeklies to allow you to share with the group, share with the crew, so that we can celebrate right alongside with you. Is there anybody that wants to share at this time? No? Okay, that's fine. If you don't want to share now, please take a moment to join school and share in our community so that we can celebrate with you. Until next time, everybody, go ahead and set sail.